Good morning, everybody. It's Lindsey Hudson back in the building with another Monday Motivation. Hope you guys had a great weekend. Wow, that snow came and went. Snowing again for me here in the East Lansing area, but I'm grateful for safe travels and all that. So what is today's Monday Motivation about? Hey, we're getting into that March Madness, that hoop time that I love, and I know so many of you guys love too. But I want to talk about the lesson and the loss. Ooh, nobody wants to talk about that loss on Monday after you had that weekend and went through what you went through. I covered some great games. I was in Ann Arbor. Shout out to Coach Mo and his staff. I was there with Ann Arbor Huron. I had a tough loss to River Rouge. Actually, I'll be with this Wednesday. And boy, it was on senior night, and those seniors didn't want to hear that. Those River Rouge, River Rats, those Ann Arbor Huron River Rats took a loss to the River Rouge Panthers. And it was tough for them. I had about 4 seniors that I talked to after the game, and it was tough. But we want to talk about the lesson and the loss. The lesson and the loss. Who's that this morning? My brother Kevin Marshall up at him. Good morning, good brother. Good to see you this morning. You know about this, the lesson and the loss. Nobody want to hear it at the time, but I want to talk about an interesting article I read called Grow by Learning from the Psychology of Losing, Dr. Chris Stankovich. This was back in 2019. And a couple things I want to talk about that I got from that. But one thing is when it comes to losing, you don't have to like losing, but you have to accept it. Easier said than done, right? Nobody wants to hear that. Nobody wants to go through that. Got my brother Aaron Mays here this morning. Got my good sister Michelle Mimi Watkins. Shout out to Aaron Mays. Aaron, you know I always keep checking on you, brother. I appreciate you all the time. There he is right there. Aaron Mays in the building. What's up, brother? All right, I got you ready to go all the time. And good morning, Michelle. How you doing? LSU took an L to Tennessee, if I remember. And we got Rakia Jackson from Detroit Depths playing for Tennessee. And I know it was a tough time in the SEC tournament for the women, but that was a good thing. But we're talking about the lesson and the loss, you guys. And it's tough. You don't want to really hear that, you know. You don't like to lose, but you got to accept it. Also, losing comes with winning. You gotta fail forward, and nobody wants to hear that as well. But these are all true facts, you know. Michelle said, "Ouch! I know. I wasn't trying to rub none in. I'm just talking about the facts of what's happening." But hey, that's part of it, and that's what I want to get at. This is a very interesting time in sports because these are all these tournaments leading to the big dance. So somebody may lose in the tournament, that is the SEC tournament, the Big Ten tournament that's coming up. The women played the Big Ten tournament already. Michigan State got knocked out early by Indiana, but they can get themselves ready. University of Michigan men's basketball lost in overtime to Indiana, but they may be on the bubble about getting into the tournament, but these are the experiences that you have to have now to help you going forward. What else does losing do? Losing does build character. No player wants to hear that at the time. They don't want to hear it when they're going through it. Who wants to get this trophy right here? Let me show you this trophy. Nobody wants this trophy. Good loser. Don't nobody want to hear that, but it's true. We have to understand that once we get past the loss, we can learn so much from it. And this is not just in sports, it's in life too. Losing teaches us emotional regulation. The other part of the losing thing is that we can all sit here and want to cheer when we win and success happens, but the most successful people that we know have all experienced losing. We know this face right here. We don't even have to say his name. He's experienced loss, but he's experienced winning at the highest level. You know, that is just a part of it. And we have to be able to understand that. You want to talk about some other people who've experienced some famous failures? Einstein, he was talked about at 4 years old. They just thought that he just wasn't even smart at all. Michael Jordan being cut from the high school team. Walt Disney, that's right, Walt Disney, where we all put our shekels and pennies together to try to make a trip, you know, every couple years, if you will. He was fired from his job because he was told he wasn't creative enough. Steve Jobs got kicked out of the company that he started. Oprah Winfrey got let go. They said she wasn't really fit for TV. That's right. Billionaire Oprah Winfrey, who's become a media mogul, was told she wasn't fit for TV. And the Beatles, they said their sound wasn't popping. So what I want to say to you guys is that you have to be able to learn from your failures. Yeah, you might fall on your face. You may not get the outcome you want, but what are you going to learn from it? What are you going to do about it going forward? Michelle says facts. Much appreciated. Facts. So what I want to also touch on too is that what does losing also do? It reminds us we need to work hard. And again, these things hit hard right now. Nobody wants to hear that. That's why you want to have time after the loss to kind of get through what you're dealing with right now. But it's really important. It's important that we look at those things going forward based on these experiences we had. Now, I'm rocking the Jalen Rose Leadership Academy. Shout out to my guy, Jalen. Jalen and I served on a board together years ago when I was part of an organization called Students First. And Jalen was on that board, and I enjoy having some great experiences with Jalen. But also, Jalen had a very magnificent three or so minute comment that he made on TV talking about Ja Morant. Yeah, Ja Morant is having some issues going on right now. Kevin says, there's a lesson in losing. It took me a while to understand it. I can appreciate your transparency, brother, because I know you're a competitor, and it takes a while. Yeah, you think losing builds character? Absolutely it does. Absolutely it does, Aaron. You don't got to like it, but when you got to walk through that line and shake your opponent's hand and say, good job, yeah, that builds character. Because what do we want to do? We want to spend all our time just winning and enjoying the praise. But let me tell you something. You want to talk about building character, you think these guys right here go learn a lesson? You think that guy that's sitting up saying something? Because guess what character part it builds right here? And I got something right for you, Aaron, right here for you. It makes you ask these questions. This is what losing does. What skills do I need to learn or master based on the feedback from this game? That's part of character building. Here's another character building question. Was I fully prepared? If not, why not? What did I do to fall short? Why was I not fully prepared? Appreciate the question, Aaron. Even with that, what specific measurable goals can I develop? I got to work on some more things, man. That is development of your character. And finally, what could I have done better? See, when you winning, and Coach, you know about this. Mimi, you know about this. When you winning, you gloss over all the shortcomings. You could have gone and not made the last free throws in the game in the last minute of the game, but you won. You look past that. See, winning glosses over things, but losing puts the spotlight on things. But as I said before, it's very important. Now, the reason I was shouting out Jalen is because he had that great commentary on television. My man Courtney Alexander in the building. We represent all the way to the Shy, baby. What's up, family? Actually, I'm coming your way soon. I got to give you a buzz, man. I'm coming on me and my daughter. I'm going to bring her out there in a couple weeks, man. I got another great trip coming to New York. Then looking at coming to Chicago, and I'll talk to you guys more about that. But here's the thing, though. Check this out. Talking about Ja Morant. And Ja had to get sit down by the NBA because he's been having some challenges. And I'm not here to beat up on him. I'm here to talk about how there can be a lesson in the loss. And with Ja, and some of his activities have not been, a positive representation of himself, the team, or the league, and I'm hoping that in these 2 games that he's going to sit, there can be a lesson in that loss. Now, whether they want to take some money from him, whether they want to fine him, or whatever it may be, or just the fact that he has to sit down and kind of be spoken of in that way, there's a lesson in the loss. We never want to hear it when we go through it, folks. We never want to hear it when we go through it, but we can always look back and say, how do I become a better person? And Mervin, look who's in the building. Thank you, Lindsay Huddleston. Good morning. Good morning, Ann. Appreciate you. You were on my mind. I got to reach out to you, let you know about something that's going on. Ann's always in the mix. But yeah, we don't want to hear it. Because we still salty because our team lost, so we lost. But then when you think back, you say, man, if I would have hit them free throws, or man, if I would study more for that presentation, or man, if I would have did a little bit more research. It's a lesson in loss. And Aaron, I want to go back to, man, I appreciate this. He asked, you said it emphatically, do you think losing builds character? Yeah, it do. If you take a lesson from it, Aaron. If you decide to learn from it. Because if you lose and take no accountability, yeah, there may not be any. Sometimes you win by losing. You're right about that too. But it stings so much because it's such a black and white experience. It's one or the other. It's like either we won and we can celebrate and all those endorphins come out and you're feeling good and you're feeling great, or you lose and you feel a certain way. Just like Ann said, she was so sad about U of M yesterday. I watched that game. But in all fairness, and I'll be seeing Juwan in a couple weeks, April 12th. You got to come on down to the Horatio Williams Foundation Coaches Forum. Juwan will be one of our speakers there. But they didn't score in the last 4 minutes of regulation. The last play of the game was a pass to the 6'10 center for a three-pointer. Nobody's drawing that play up. So my point being is the character building part is that what can Michigan do to be more effective offensively towards the end of the game? You want to roll, hostile environment, Team is playing hard, and if you can't score in like the last two, you go on a drought, you're going to have a problem. So that's what I mean about that character part. So nobody says you're supposed to be happy with losing. Never said that. Never said you're supposed to be a happy loser. Like I said, I'm not going around passing out this trophy saying, hey, man, you're a good loser. No, that's not the fact. But the reality is you got to learn from it, man. And this goes way back to the importance of being on the other side of it. That kid is sick about it. That kid is enjoying. But you know what? It goes back and forth, my friend. The opportunity is there for everybody. When you lose, don't lose the lesson. Don't lose the lesson. Don't get so stuck and become so bitter in the loss that you can't think about, how do I grow? How do I move forward? How do I prevent this from happening? I got some great comments coming on. Kevin says, when I suffer a loss, it hurts, and I break down what we didn't do right and correct it for the next game. I know. And I know, Kevin, during that time of that immediate loss, you don't want to hear nothing because you're so emotionally caught up in what's going on. Aaron is back on, and Aaron says, you definitely have to learn from your downfall and build upon it. It will make you a better winner. Yeah, but it's hard because of the emotional part. We already talked earlier about losing teaches you emotional regulation. You got to better sit back and eat it, man. What's the worst thing to do, Kevin? To watch that tape. Ooh. Watch the tape of your losing performance. Mimi, Michelle, when you go back and you show your athletes, the new breed, when you show them the things that they did wrong, and it's hard to look at it and it's hard to accept it. No, not at all. You don't want to do that. But that's how you go get to the level. Now, I'm going to switch it up on you guys for the remaining moments that I have. How dare somebody sit and think they go win without having to deal with the agony of defeat? How dare think you can just focus on being great when you haven't had a loss? You don't deserve it. Do you really deserve championship experience if you haven't experienced loss? And I'm not saying this to say, I want you just to have these rough things happen, but how can you go on and expect to be great if you haven't had the challenges of getting there? You won't appreciate it. You're not going to be motivated. There's a different kind of motivation going on. What Michelle say, pity party allowed for a few hours so we can accept the emotion. I agree with that. That's why we talk about the 24-hour rules. And, the coaches know about that. Look, I don't want to talk about this for 24 hours. Then we go move on. But that's good, bad, and indifferent. I want to shout out my high school basketball coach, Coach Bill Carter. He talked about treating winning and losing, both those imposters, the same. Yeah, when you winning, yeah, you up. Yeah, we up. You blade ice wood on them and all that. But can you take an L with your head up and go to your competitor and say, hey, man, good game? Now, that's the character that I'm talking about. Those are those lifelong lessons that are important because, unfortunately, life does not play the game of you win all the time. And if you win all the time, who wants to be around that person? What can you teach me when times are hard? What can you teach me when times are tough? What life lessons can you pass on to your children, to your players, to your colleagues, to your coworkers, to your family members, to a stranger if you always winning? I'm not wishing for you not to be successful, but I'm saying find the lesson in the loss. What can I do better? Because when that thing comes back around, as it always does, you can say, man, I've been there. I've been there before. I understand that hurt and pain. When I had to leave Morehouse College as a freshman because my mother, as a single mother, just did not have the money to pay that private school out-of-state tuition, I was sick about it. I was hurt. But the important part of it is that when I had other lessons in life where I had to make a decision and pivot, I went back to the loss. I remember the loss. Tamara Hunt Williams, hey, what's going on? Character is so important, and empathy, it is. We don't want to hear it at the time. We throwing tables around, we get out my face, we cussing and fussing, but that empathy is important. If you've been there before, if you took an L before, you can put your arm around somebody and say, hey, my man, I know what it's like. Hey, her girlfriend, I understand what it's like. And people can relate to that. Man, a life with just wins, man, is that really living? Because you don't experience the emotional, up and down that really lets you know and helps you appreciate a win. I mean, the team that wins all the time, do they even appreciate it? Do they take it for granted? Or the one that had to work hard to get there? I can appreciate everybody's feedback and what's going on. It's been a pretty lengthy Monday motivation, but we want to talk about get the lesson in the loss. You don't got to accept losing. You don't got to like it. I mean by that, but I'll say, but you got to get a lesson out of it. What can I extract from this that's going to help me be better going forward? Wow, just a great group of wonderful people on the timeline today. I appreciate you guys checking in. SPS is going to keep pushing, keep going. It's that tournament time, so it's going to be a lot of heads held high and a lot down low, because check it out. You only get to crown one champion. So that means somebody's going to take a loss somewhere, and you got to get a lesson in a loss. I won't keep you guys any further. Go on, have a great day, have a great Monday, have a great week, have a great month, have a great year, have a great life. Ladies and gentlemen, SPS, and I'll see you guys next time. Nothing but peace and love to you. Take care.